Alex in San Diego. Nice to talk to you. Welcome.
My son recently just decided, that he was not going to go to confession.
Okay.
So I talked to him and asked him, what's your reason behind it? And he stated that, well, what is the point? I do feel remorse, after I do some of the things, that I it seems like I'm not going to stop doing. And so what's the point of going and repeating the same sin to the priest when I have a hard time? And so I wanted to get a perspective from a parent.
Well, here's the thing about the sacrament of confession. Your son is oddly enough right. If he's not sorry, you said he feels remorse, but is he saying, I feel remorse, I know I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to probably do it again, because he feels remorse, but he doesn't feel as much remorse as necessary to decide to stop doing whatever the sins are? Or is he saying, I'm really trying and I'm sorry for the sins, but I know I'm weak and I keep falling back into this? It could be one or the other. Do you have a sense of which direction he's coming from?
Yeah. Yes, it was the latter.
Okay, so he's saying, Dad, I'm really trying. I don't want to smoke dope, or I don't want to look at internet porn. I don't want to do whatever, but I'm weak and I keep falling back into this sin, and I feel like giving up, because why bother going to confession when I have the same sins over and over again? Is that the gist of it?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I would tell my son, and what I would encourage you to tell your son is, son, this is why you need to go to confession, because every time you go, the sanctifying grace that comes into your soul from that good confession helps to strengthen you, so that even if it's just little by little over time, you're going to build up the strength by God's grace to resist these temptations. Now, if you just give in and say, well, I'm going to keep doing these things, I don't really want to, but I'm going to keep doing it, and you don't take the remedy that will strengthen you, you're just going to get further and further enslaved to these things, and you'll never get out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I would encourage him to continue going to confession. Now, there's something key to this whole thing. There's a difference between acknowledging one's weakness and saying, I know I'm prone to this kind of sin, or I know that I've got this temptation that keeps nagging at me and it's going to be difficult. Okay. Most people can relate to that in some form or another. But if you want to stop, if you really want to stop, you can, and God will help you. But that's the key. Does he really want to stop? The great St. Augustine, Alex, before he had his conversion, in his early 30s, I think it was maybe 31, he was living the 5th century equivalent of the life of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And in his Confessions, which might be a good book to give to your son, St. Augustine had to wrestle with all these same kinds of problems. He had lots and lots and lots of girl issues in his life. And there's this one phrase, this is sort of a kind of a condensed version of what he actually said, but he said words to the effect, Lord, make me chaste, but not yet. Meaning, I know I need to be chaste. I know I need to stop the shenanigans, but I'm having too much fun. So, Lord, make me chaste, but just let me wallow in this mud hole for a while longer before you get me out.
Mm-hmm.
So just maybe share those thoughts with your son. Encourage him. Does he have an accountability partner? Does he have? I'm assuming that the sin might be pornography. Who knows whatever it is. If you as his dad can maybe help him at that level, be an accountability partner, maybe you can help him with some software, if that's an issue on his phone. There are different ways you can go about it, but that's what I would recommend, Alex.
I do appreciate it, and yes, you do give some insight. I think I have Confessions, the book ready here. So,
oh, good.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Good. Does he live at home with you?
Yes, he does.
What would be cool would be if you and he set aside some time each day, and it could be 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and just read the book to each other. You read a chapter, because they're pretty short chapters, and then he reads a chapter the next day, and then you read a chapter, and he reads. And so together, father and son, you could journey through the Confessions of St. Augustine, and that would give you time to talk about it and react to it, and you could give him counsel. I think that would be neat.
For more of The Patrick Madrid Show, visit relevantradio.com/Patrick.